We're cooking a whole meal on our front porch. What's on the menu?
Scallop potatoes
and Angel's meatloaf, so stick around. This is Wade, and I'm Angel, and this is Iris, and we are Pole House, Black Pots, Weekend Getaways, where we show you all things yummy to cook in cast iron as we visit different places. Well,
it is back on the front porch for another cookout for our weekend. And
we're at home, of course, but we're going to cook a whole meal. We're going to do something called stacking, and if you watched this before, Wade, when we were at Thousand Hills,
yes, we did 2 dishes.
Showed you on paper how to do it.
The calculation. So we'll link that video.
We'll link
in the
that video in the description. We're also, since it's a full meal, we're gonna cook something that's in our cookbook. So if you haven't got a cookbook, please order them. They're in our basement. We'd like to get them sold to you guys so you could enjoy them.
And that is meatloaf.
Meatloaf, Angel's meatloaf.
That's right. And the new recipe we're gonna show you all how to do tonight is scalloped potatoes.
So we're going to link the meatloaf recipe and the Thousand Hills stacking thing video the description below. So I've already mixed up the meatloaf. It's ready to go. It's waiting on him. This is his recipe, so he gets to do it all.
All right, so we'll be right back as soon as we get everything set up and start doing the prep. Okay, we're going to start with a 10-inch. We use the deep Dutch oven. You probably wouldn't need one, but that's what we've got handy. So that's what we're using. I sprayed it pretty good with some cooking spray just to kind of help keep things from sticking. And I have already peeled 5 nice russet potatoes. Now the fun part.
Now this is an old recipe. I found this recipe.
I think it's Betty Crocker, wasn't it?
Well, the original one I found was in 1906. That cookbook I have from 1906. And it hasn't done much to change.
Now this requires raw potatoes, so you have to take the time. If you had a mandolin, that would be really cool and handy.
Did you bring the flour out, dear?
I did not.
All right, well, I'm gonna go get the flour.
I'm gonna go and get some, grab a whole cup.
Okay.
I didn't want to cut these up too far ahead of time because like regular anything like this, if you know potatoes, they will oxidize and then of course be turning kind of brown and black fairly quick. So we don't want to do that. We want them to stay nice and the right color.
There's your flour. I'm gonna get a shot of them tigers.
Okay, so we're gonna start by putting a layer of potatoes spread out. You try to pick them apart so they don't have all stuck together completely. They'll cook better. And this is basically a layering process. So we're going to put a nice layer in the bottom. Now, the next step is we need to grab a paper towel to kind of keep my hands from being too icky dirty. Okay, now we're going to put a little bit of butter pads on there. That'll be the next step. And you're just going to kind of lay them on top. Okay, next step. A nice layer of flour. This is kind of an iffy, hopefully this will come out about right, but the flour is for thickening.
All right, I'm gonna go in here.
Yeah, well, back to it. See how I put like a nice layer of flour. And we're gonna see how that does.
And the thing is, you gotta work quickly doing this.
Salt and pepper. We're using seasoned salt. You don't like seasoned salt, use pepper. Or regular salt, I mean. This is kind of good. I like this for some reason. I like fresh, coarse ground black pepper in this recipe. We don't use it all the time, but sometimes it's really nice. And You don't have to do this, but we're also doing, you could do some sliced or chopped onions if you're a real onion fan.
No,
And just not. So we're using some onion powder. Okay. Okay. Now, we repeat the process. Okay, last layer. Lay these out. There we go. Okay. Last layer of potatoes.
You still got to put the salt and everything on that last layer too, don't you?
Yeah.
Now the reason why you need to hurry up on this is there's nothing to stop them potatoes from oxidizing. Meaning they'll turn brown, nasty, kind of black. So he's working like a mad dog here.
Last pads of butter. We end up using, for this 10-inch, 5 good-sized potatoes, and we're using a whole stick of salted butter. Okay. Last little bit before the very last ingredient is a little bit more flour. That's what we ended up using, probably a half a cup of flour.
Yeah.
Roughly.
It's not raw. It's not
Yeah.
exact on this recipe. But
If you
that's
did
how.
it enough, you'd probably have a better idea. Now we got one final part that makes it good. We've got, I'm not for sure, we started with a cup and a half of milk. And we kind of let it warm up so it's not ice cold out of the refrigerator. Because we want, it'll take way too long to cook. And we're also going to add just a little bit of heavy cream. Make it nice and rich.
Oh, I thought that was open.
Now, the idea here is to bring it up just right at the top. See that, Angel? Want to come in and get a close of that?
I will as soon as. Well, I don't. We're gonna get the briquettes ready. We'll be right back.
Yep. Put the lid on it. Keep the oxygen out of it best I can. Charcoal is ready. Now, we're going to do a stacking method as we mentioned before. Instead of 4, we're going to conserve on some heat. So, we normally do about, your regular ratio of 1/3, 2/3, which would be about 30 on the 12-inch and about 26 on the 10-inch. So, we're going to combine the two because the
You've got one that's about to come out the bottom.
I'll get it. Dump these extra out here, so we got
Flip it over.
there. Another one about to come out the bottom. Okay. So I put the extra down here on the, so we do a normal on the bottom if you would on a regular 12-inch, which would be about 10. So we'll do that first. Like always, we do a regular layer around the outside edge, nothing special, because this is baking. And because it's meatloaf, and we're not going to worry about necessarily overcooking, we'll probably do one extra on the bottom instead of on top. So that'll be about 11 on the bottom. So we'll get that going now. Okay, now, on top, we're going to do our normal full bed, like we would on a normal 10-inch. Okay.
Did I miss it? Did you tell him how many briquettes you
I
cooked?
did 46 briquettes. That's going to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that'd be about right. So basically, this is about 18 coals, which is if you don't want to count them all, it's about 1 full ring on top, and then 4 in the middle. Now, the tricky layer is in the middle. We're going to do a normal ring, but we're going to put part of that ring as the underneath bottom side of the top of it. And we do that normally like we always would. So this would be about 8 or 9 in this case, on the bottom.
Now you're gonna put your 4 right up next to that handle for lifting that lid?
No, I'm just going to put them right up underneath the bottom of the top of it.
Because even stacking, you don't put one in the middle,
No,
do you?
no. Let's see, it should give us, yeah, we want 9 over here. Should be fine. And then to finish our normal amount on the bottom of the oven, we just kind of randomly put them so they're fairly evenly spaced, of course, around the outside ring of our bottom 12-inch. We're going to do our normal. Now, both of these recipes take probably a good 45 minutes at least, yeah, to get done. So therefore, we will be taking, just to make sure we have enough heat, as we've mentioned in other videos, to get that long of a cook time, we're going to do about half of that 45, 46, which will be about 23. We'll start them at about 30, about a 30-minute cook time. We'll do half, kind of a half on everything, all the way across the board, and then we'll have them all hopefully done. Now the key of, a nice thing about when you're stacking is you want foods that are going to cook in about the same time, because you don't want this bottom one being done way before the top one, because then you'll have to do something to get the bottom heat back and rearrange something to get your bottom one done. So that works the best, about the same amount of cook time.
And honey, if they want more instruction on how to do this, where can they go to see that?
Yeah, go to our video, and we link it down below when we were up in Crooksville at the Thousand Hills State Park.
And the recipe for the meatloaf is in our cookbook, so.
That's right. So check it out, and we'll show you right now how you can get our cookbook.
On this channel, we show you yummy, delicious, and interesting things to cook in cast iron, most specifically Dutch ovens. Do you know we have a cookbook? It not only shows you great tips how to use your Dutch ovens, but it gives you our first 2 years of recipes. They're $20 with $6 shipping and handling. You can get those at Pole House Black Pots, P.O. Box 212, Fayette, Missouri 65248, or on Venmo.
Yes, in the Venmo, look up Pole House Black Pots on Venmo. Okay, 15 minutes. First
and yes,
rotate.
he used the
Wind guard.
guard.
Yeah, just a little bit of breeze coming and going. Now, this is a little bit different. So, first thing I do, so I don't get all messed up, lift it straight off and set it down. This one, like we normally do, 1/3 turn one way, and then the lid, 1/3 of a turn the opposite direction. Okay, now, next, this one, 1/3 turn rotate, center it back up, over the top of the other next of it, and 1/3 turn back the opposite direction. Wind guard back on. Bake it another 15 minutes, and I'll also get some charcoal started here before too long. So, see you back here in a minute.
Well, I think we better check it.
It's a steaming.
Yep, here, let me.
We can get a little video of that. We know we're cooking good when we got steam coming out like that.
Looky there. See that? That ain't the briquettes doing it.
Okay, so I'm gonna set this out of here. First thing we're gonna do, just in while we don't forget it, we're gonna go ahead and rotate.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you need to grab your ketchup, right, Angel?
Yep, I do.
Okay. Rotate the lid. This bottom one, remember, is a 12-inch Dutch oven. It is our meatloaf.
All right, now.
Oh, yeah.
Here, hold that for me. Uh-oh.
Getting almost out of ketchup.
We are out of ketchup. Hold on a minute. Let me go get another.
In case you're wondering, we're losing our light, so.
Yeah, we're fighting that flaming orb in the sky. Now I'm gonna spread that out a little bit.
Most of this one ran off to the side if you wanted it.
Where?
This one. There it is.
Okay, now that just needs to caramelize.
Okay, so we'll put the lid on.
Tell by the way those feel that those are done.
Now, we did not rotate this one yet, but we're going to go ahead and lift it and check it.
Let me have that. Okay.
They need to be fork tender.
That could probably go another 5-10 minutes.
Well, we're going to let everything finish up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a rotate. Not that we probably had to, since we moved everything around, but it's not going to hurt anything.
I figure about 10 more minutes on that.
That'll both take about 10?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you back here in 10 minutes. All right, it has been
10 minutes or 15.
10 more minutes. Good 10, 15 minutes after we did the last check.
Now, they're done. That may look a little runny, but it's also a lip burner right now.
And that's set up a little
Let
bit.
it set for a little bit. Now, we're not going to show you us testing it because we know how good that is.
Yeah, and the bottom is the meatloaf, and we know how it tastes. So.
Yeah. So we're going to show you a picture of what the result is, of what it looks like on our plate. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. That's a like. Share us on Facebook or Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, we appreciate you so very much. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.